why you should test your ex to get them back. This is Coach Lee, and I'm going to talk to you about a little discussed time period in getting your ex back, and it involves testing them. The first test is, do they miss you? And that's one of the reasons that you go into no contact, is that you have to know if they will miss you, if you two stay away from each other, if you're not trying to get them back, if you're not pursuing, if you're not talking to them, if you basically just back out of their life, which is what they claim to want when they break up with you. Of course, sometimes they'll say, I still want to be your friend and things like that, but I'm just telling you, very honestly, that almost never works. Sometimes a friends with benefits type of situation can reignite some things, but if they don't want the benefits part, if they just want to be friends, usually it gets awkward and it just kind of fades out and it doesn't work. And usually it breaks the person's heart who wants the relationship back. So don't fall for that. But you definitely should test them. They need to experience life without you, and you need to see if they actually miss you. And you have to ask yourself, if this person can just stay away from me, not talk to me, not reach out, not miss me enough to make the effort to reach out. That tells you a lot, because one of the most important things you can do is not just sit around and hope that they will take you back or that they will come back to you, but to actually and genuinely ask yourself, do you want them back? Not only is that good for you, and that's looking out for you, that's what I'm trying to do here, but it's also very attractive. If you are absolutely certain you want them back, even after they just walked away from you, that's not the most attractive position that you could take. And your ex needs to feel it. It's not something you really need to say yet, but they need to feel that you are uncertain of them. And I'm going to get more into that a little bit later. Number 2. Is their response weak? So this is another thing that you're testing. Not only will they miss me, can they stay away from me for a long period of time, which tells you a lot about how they really feel about you and should be something you use to decide if you actually want to move forward with them in the relationship. But what you should test when they actually start to interact with you, and maybe they even say that they're confused or that they want to talk, they might want to get back together, you need to look at their response. Is it just very casual, like, hey, I guess we could hang out, or yeah, I guess we could talk, maybe we could start dating again? If they're not very enthused, I know that it's very tempting to still take that because you desperately miss them, you want them back kind of any way that you could get them. And so you're not going to be picky, at least that's how you're thinking about it. But if breaking up with you and then not hearing from you all this time, while they know that you are in terrible pain and that you've had emotional trauma from this, and that maybe they should have some simply because you aren't reaching out, you aren't trying to get them back, and they should actually see that as showing that there's the potential they could lose you. Those things should result in a strong response where they admit that they made a mistake, they regret it, and that they're actually somewhat concerned that it maybe damaged their relationship going forward with you, that maybe you would see it as potentially a deal breaker. You should see this kind of concern from them. And if you don't, you certainly need to make sure that your movement is slow and that it doesn't look like you are just willing to take whatever they will give you. This is a test, and it's important because I know you don't just want them back temporarily. If you want them back for the long term, first of all, you need to know if that's possible. And a casual, weak response to being away from you after breaking up with you is not suggestive that there's a good chance of you two having an extended future together. And so what you certainly need to do if they have a weak response is that you need to, at the most, match their response. You certainly don't need to go above and tell them how much you've missed them, and basically you do what they should do when they have broken up with you and now they see the mistake. There should be something like repentance and sorrow and hope that you'll take them back, and a realization they made a mistake and that they were disloyal in what they did. That breaking up with someone is a terrible thing to do to them and should only be when it's certainly permanent. It's not something you do to try to get them to shape up and behave better or to show something to them, like proving them a point. It's not something that should be a tool of manipulation, and it's also something that when you come to your senses, you should be afraid. You should be concerned that this could have cost you the relationship with the person you broke up with. And if it's anything less than that, it's a pretty weak response, and you need to move slowly and you need to move cautiously. Before I get to number 3, get information on my emergency breakup kit. The link's in the description below, or you can go to myexbackcoach.com/EBK as an emergency breakup kit. That's myexbackcoach.com/EBK. It's a powerful guide to help you get your ex back. It explains a lot of the things that I do in my videos in more detail. It also allows you to join my support community where you can be encouraged by other people and you can ask questions of me and my coaches on my staff. So get more information on my emergency breakup kit. The link is in the description below. Number 3, is their comeback real? Because I hear so many stories, and as well as the coaches on my staff, so I have a lot of situations to look at. I know a lot of the things that could happen. And a lot of times the comeback is not real. It's like they're just testing the waters, seeing if they feel anything differently. And usually what can make it where they back off is when they haven't made enough progress. You want them to make progress in terms of their appreciation for you. That's why you should move very slowly. If they want to get back together, your response should be that you're open to that, but you want to take it one day at a time. And you can reword that or you can use that wording, but they need to know that you're not certain. That's the way that you can actually have them grow in terms of the way that they see the proper value of the relationship. And sometimes people lose sight of that, and that's not a good thing, but it doesn't mean that the situation's hopeless or that you two could not end up being together at all, that there's just no hope of that. That's not what it means. But what it does mean is that they need to spend some time earning you back in order to move forward and to get to where they don't just feel like this is not a valuable thing, it's just something they could walk away from again. You need to let them go through that process where they feel like they have to do some things. They have to kind of work to earn you back because they broke up with you. They walked away from the relationship. They just tossed you aside. It was incredibly painful. Don't forget how badly it hurt. And you need to be cautious. You need to be somewhat suspicious of them. They need to prove themselves to you, and they need to know that. Number 4, maybe they have come back and they've said that they want to start talking again or kind of seeing how they feel, how you two interact together, something like that. It's very important that you observe that the dynamics of the relationship are balanced again, at least balanced, maybe even leaning towards you as far as they should be pursuing you now. Your attraction should be at least as high as the way they perceive theirs, because like I talk about a lot at the breakup, usually the person who's doing the dumping, when they break up with you, they feel like they are more attractive than you. That's just kind of a natural thing because you want them and you want the relationship, but they don't. So it's just kind of common sense that the balance of the relationship is way out of kilter. And one of the big problems I see is that when two people get back together, that balance is still out of whack. And you are on the lower side of the attraction scale and they're up high. And the thing is, that's what caused the breakup in the first place. And so if it stays that way, there's likely to be another breakup. So that's why it's so important that if things are not balanced, if they don't seem to be acting like they are fortunate that you were willing to even talk about taking them back, if they don't act like that you are just the most gorgeous thing they've ever seen and they can't keep their hands off you, if they don't seem to realize that they could have lost you and now they're trying to make it up to you, then usually the attraction dynamics are out of balance. It should be pretty close to equal, with both people feeling like they are with someone who is high value. A lot of times after a breakup, it's not that way. And so you need to make sure that if it's not that way, that you are reserved. You are definitely following the idea of taking it one day at a time. You're not giving this all back to them. They are having to earn you back. They're having to prove themselves again. That's how you get the dynamics of attraction to be equal again, or close to equal as it should be. And that's a test you want to make sure that they pass before you give them the keys to the kingdom again as far as the relationship goes. Before I get to number 5, remember to get more information on my emergency breakup kit at myexbackcoach.com/EBK, the emergency breakup kit. Number 5 is, are they willing to earn you back? Because if they're not, even though it might hurt, you do learn a lesson. You do test them and you get to see the result. If they're not willing to earn you back, it's very unlikely that the relationship is going to survive long-term anyway. They should be in a position where they understand that they need to earn you back, that that's what has to happen, that they're willing to do that. As a matter of fact, they should be happy to do that, to put in their time, so to speak, to prove themselves to you again and to make it to where you trust them and believe that they are back and that the relationship is what they want. And if they're not willing to put in that time and that effort to show you after they did this to you that now they regret it and they want to be with you, if they're not willing to put in the time to do that and to show you that, then that's a test they've failed. And you need to walk away from them. You need to let it fail. I know you want your ex back, but sometimes you have to take somewhat of a risk. You have to be willing to throw it all away because you know it's going to fail if there's not significant change. And so sometimes I know that you want your ex back, but sometimes you have to be willing to say, not on these terms, not under these conditions. If they're not willing to earn you back, if they just want to go right back to where you were, and they don't even seem to understand just what you've been through, just what they did to you, and just how serious this is and how you're concerned about the future and they might do it again. If they just don't seem to get it, you might have to say, I'm not ready for this yet. I don't think you're ready either. And I need someone who won't do this again to me and who wants to be with me 100%. You have to have that demand. At the same time, you want to be as casual as you can otherwise because you don't want them to think that you're taking them back 100%. But if that's okay with them, that you're not ready to be 100%, then they should want to do the work. But if they don't, if it's not okay and they think that you should just stop complaining or that you should just get over it and take them back and everything should just go right back to normal, then there's a problem. And you need to stand strong if you want the best chance of having a future with them, but also for yourself. This has been Coach Lee, and as always, thank you for watching.